I don't see where you're at yet, but
All right, I think we are live. Somebody in the chat say something. You are watching Life in Linux number 3 with your co-host, Total OS Today. My friends call me Toss, and with Switch to Linux, and his friends call him, I'm not sure what they call him, Switch. I'm not really sure.
switched, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. Oh, before I forget, I got jealous of Tom's kitty cam. I have a little stuffed animal cam.
You got the coon cam.
So, yeah.
Well, mine's alive.
True. Okay, fine. Gee, I was trying to be nice.
Kitty, kitty, come on. Kitty, kitty. Kitty, kitty. Toss
Maybe
is trying to beat you.
mine's cuter.
I think. He's on his box. I don't know. If I were to show you my cat on his new throne, which is the box in the other side of the room, it's the cutest thing ever. And I think I have plenty of pictures of it. He's coming over. I hear him. He's dismounting from the box.
He wants his temptations.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, it's gonna be hard to see because it's a little dark. But let's see if I can see that there. Oh yeah, look at that.
I see. He's like curled up. Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like a little like alien thing. You know, he's curled up.
Yeah. He's about to come out. See.
He looks like, man, I was taking a nap. Leave me alone.
Yeah, but you gotta show him the raccoon now. See if he likes it. There's the raccoon at. Look at the raccoon. See the raccoon? You gonna see the raccoon? He's like, no. We're all chill on the desk.
He's like, you dummies. It's not
again.
real.
This is awesome.
Anyway, that's my fake kitty cam. Fox cam or whatever. Raccoon, yeah.
Did I change my area? Not really. I mean, the camera's pointed in a different direction. And I don't have my red lights on. My red lights are usually on at this point. So. Yeah, I got the kitty.
There we go.
Kitty.
Fine kitty wins on the kitty cam contest, but I thought, this is all I got right now. So I think I got something else somewhere. But
do you have another camera too?
No, I don't. I mean, I have a second cam. I don't have it set up, but anyway, that's my kitty cam. So who do we have in the house? We got Derp and William. Welcome.
Yeah, Derp and
Any
William.
more?
That's it for now. Yeah,
okay.
Right now, dude, we have 2 thumbs up and 2 thumbs down already. That's fascinating.
That seems to be a common
Somebody said on my stream that the view count was really high, but the thumbs down rate's really high today for some reason. I haven't really noticed the thumbs down rate, but I haven't really been looking either. Let me see if I can find my thumbs down stats, likes and dislikes in the stats. Let's see what we can find.
Okay.
Now, of course, is like today's not on. You know what I did notice? I don't know if you noticed this with YouTube yesterday. For the last 2 days, estimated income was reporting at 0.
Oh.
Mine was for 2 days. It finally corrected itself. But
no, I haven't. No, mine's not. Mine didn't do that. I don't think it's updated since I last checked. Because when I log into the AdSense versus what I see on YouTube, it's not matching. There's like a delay or something. But
my external OS video got in the last how long? Oh wow, it is really high. Okay, this is funny. So my external OS video, right? Wow, somebody's right. There are some down flagging going on because that video has gained, like all of today, has been sitting at 100 to 200 views per hour. To even see the stats is quite amazing. So as of right now, that video is sitting at. No, I don't want analytics. Run the actual video. Okay. As of right now, that video has 235 dislikes. And as of yesterday, there were only 182 on it. So that video has amassed 50 dislikes today.
Years ago, I posted a Windows 7 versus Linux video. comparing it to 2. And that one had, I forget, I mean, I don't have it up anymore because Windows 7 is almost no more, but it had like 500 likes and 500 dislikes. And you can guess who liked it and who didn't, didn't like it. But I mean, that can happen. I was looking at the top 10 videos on my channel. The first one is the Makulu Linux, has a lot of views, and then the Life in Linux 2 that we did seems to have a lot of views. I think those are the top 2 in my top 10. But the likes and dislikes, that's a random thing, Tom. It's just, it comes and goes, and I mean, if there's a pattern, then I might be concerned. But if it's 1 or 2 videos, I would just brush it off. So.
Yeah, I don't care if there's dislikes. Dislikes means a lot of people are watching it and causing hate, and people like to hate things more than they like to like things.
Controversy, yeah.
Controversy's not bad. I don't mind it at all. I'm a businessman. I mean, I'm not going to go out and create Logan Paul volumes of controversy, but at the same token, I'm not going to get all hung up over downvotes on videos.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting. So I guess that kind of leads us into this first. There's multiple YouTube purges.
Yes.
So this one is supposed to help us all out by giving more ad revenue. What's the theory behind that?
Supposedly, when you weed out the content or the junk, there's more money left in the AdSense pond to go around. If that sounds right, but that's what I've been hearing. There's only a finite amount of AdSense revenue in the total pod, as it were, and when you weed out all those channels that are not really supposedly not giving quality content or enough quality content, those are weeded out at least temporarily. Now they're welcome to come back and get the 1,000 subs and 4,000
watch hours in 12 months.
Okay, which is not that unreasonable.
Well, it's hard. It is hard, I can say, but it's not unreasonable. I agree with it.
Yeah, it's not unreasonable. It took my channel. Of course, I started off as a hobby. It was one of those. I just wanted to learn more. Back then there was no Toss Today, there was no Switch to Linux, there was no Destination, there was no Quids Up. There was none of that. There wasn't a lot of quality Linux content back then, like in the 2008, 2009, 2010, in my opinion. So I thought to myself, like, instead of complaining, just do something about it. So I just started experimenting, distro hopping, pretty much experimenting, posting what I saw, good and bad. I was cranking out videos. I think I'm close to almost 2,000 videos here in 8 years this month. But it was more of a hobby. I think I'll do it for 2-3 years. Once I learn what I have to, I'll stop. But then the channel grew. I started doing videos with IG from Australia, Infinite, Galactic. Then, of course, Spatry, and I met all these friends. So then the channel grew. But it took a good 2 years. Maybe more than that for the channel to become self-sustaining in terms of the AdSense revenue. And it's now, if I had a plan from the beginning, a steady schedule, this type of content, have guests, it may not have taken me 2 or 3 years. But that wasn't really on my. I was on a quest for knowledge, Yeah. So it is what it is. I'm sure a lot of channels who are bumped off are unhappy. But look, if you have something to say and quality content, people will watch you. The views will come. The subscribers will come. If you show a passion with what you do and you're fair, like especially posting versus something. When I did the Linux Windows versus Linux, I try to be fair on both sides based on what I saw. But it's a purge, and we talked about that one gentleman. I won't mention his name. Who false flagged something supposedly. I won't go there. But that's the kind of crap that we don't need, and I'm glad that's happening. He's down to 2 strikes now or something like that. But so that I agree with that. But if there is good content out there and you're starting off, do not get discouraged. Okay. What I would advise that newbie to do is have a schedule and practice. Maybe do a video, do it unlisted, play it back. Is the audio okay? Is the lighting okay? Am I too close to the light or the camera? There is a science behind it. Like when I first started doing videos, I didn't have my webcam. I just wanted to post it, say something, boom, boom, boom. But nowadays, because there is a lot more competition, or if you have something to say, whether it's learning how to cook, or how to work on a car, or, tips on remodeling a house, If you have quality content, there is a need for that. But just don't give up. But do have a plan. I didn't have a plan, and that was probably dumb of me. But have a plan, have a schedule. I would say at least 3 videos a week. And now, if you can do 1 a day, Monday through Friday, I think that's great. But 3 a day is probably good. And and then practice. Have a good microphone, have a good webcam. It doesn't have to be a Hollywood production. That I've learned. But so the people who got kicked off the AdSense do not get discouraged.
This reminds me of something. Did you see Casey Neistat's video? Whoa, they were trying to play sound. Did you see Casey Neistat's video earlier this week? It was success on YouTube doesn't mean a life of poverty.
I don't think I saw that. I know who he is, but yeah.
This is based on an article bringing that point up. It's a good discussion point. Bloomberg wrote an article just a couple days ago saying success on YouTube still means a life of poverty. Now, I have to stop and question that. Now, and understand that I started this as an alternative business. And some people have a flack about that, but the reality is no. This is a legitimate career people can take, and that's a path I've chosen to go down. And so what they have done here is they're saying success on YouTube still means a life of poverty, and says you can have 1 million views a month and still not be able to make rent. And I'm like, that's interesting. So in this article, it starts by saying, do your children dream of YouTube stardom? Do them a favor and crush that ambition and now.
Well, that's wrong, in my opinion.
I mean, so let's just kind of break down part of this article. If your kids have an ambition, foster it. It may not succeed in the end, but it's way better, as Rush wrote in that song, Losing It, sadder still to watch it die than never to have known it. It's still sad to never have known it. And if you have a dream or a goal or a passion, follow it. And there was a fabulous video from Louis Rossman last week. I think it was like Boys Aren't Broken or something, where he talks in part of that video about this, that realize this, everything I'm doing for income right now, I follow the, I have 4 years of college, which I went right out of high school. I skipped the master's. I got a doctorate in 6 years. I taught at the college level. And then I opened some businesses on my own. I did everything the success says to do, and everything I do for income now didn't exist when I was in high school. It didn't exist.
there's a I know who said, but there's a famous quote: "'Tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all." 'Tis better to have tried something, if it's a dream or an idea. Look, going to the moon was an idea, was a dream. The internet years ago was a dream. Facebook was an idea. But yeah, that article sounds a little bit harsh. I can understand the realities. It's not easy. It really isn't.
It's kind of, and I tell people this because I have a friend that's still in high school, and he wants to his ambition is to become a big YouTube star, the next Logan Paul or whatever. But he wants to have as a career some form of content creation in specific areas. So I said, well, we want to develop a strategy then with you to do, a little bit of this, a little bit of YouTube. And I said, Ecclesiastes 11, cast your bread upon the waters. After many days, some of it will return, but you do not know which will be successful, whether this or that. And so in scope of that, try it, particularly while you're still in high school. And if it doesn't work, trust me, the university buildings have stood for 400 years. They will still be there if you decide you want to go back. But if you don't know what you want to do, it's not worth going into it right away immediately. So if you got a dream, foster
it all starts with a dream or maybe an idea with me. Since we're talking, this is about Linux mainly. Back in 2006, it started with an idea. Maybe I should try Linux. Now here I am.
Yeah.
If I hadn't tried it, I wouldn't be here.
It occurred to me the other day because I'm writing. I have 2 manuscripts that are mostly done. I've got to finish one of them. Hopefully, I get both of them published this year. But one of them I'm co-writing with somebody, and I remember the time I was just starting grad school. So this
Hmm.
was probably back a decade back, even older, even longer than a decade back. And I remember sitting at this little bagel shop, and I was probably doing something related to the lab work because I was always having to read articles or do things. And I was like, I kind of want to write, and what would be fascinating is if I could live a life. And I've realized the last couple of years I have fulfilled a lot of that dream. Now I'm not making buku bucks, but I can pay my rent. I have not had to rely on anybody since I moved out of my mother's house. Um, and I was at a donut shop the other day, was sitting there working on my manuscript, something I eventually will publish and get paid for down the road. I'm like, I'm living the dream that I had a decade ago. And nobody tells me when I have to show up to work. Nobody tells me what time I have to wake up in the day. Nobody tells me all those things. I'm doing the things I want to do, how I want to do it.
And it all
Now,
starts with an idea.
that's it. It's it,
So there you go.
So, yeah, they
Okay.
say they say here 96.5% of all those trying to become YouTubers won't make enough money off advertising. Well, stop relying on advertising. um,
It can be done, but it's getting tougher, obviously.
yeah, I mean,
Um,
let me give you percentages. I won't give you actual numbers, but I want to say that this month only about 70% of the income I made on content creation came from advertising.
okay.
And that's, and if you look up,
Yeah.
you'll look up AdSense, you look up
Yeah.
t shirt sales, you look up your
Sure.
at Amazon and anything else you have, PayPal donations, you'll find that, and
Right.
very appreciative
Well,
of
that's
it.
why a lot of YouTubers, once this
Mhm.
so-called adpocalypse kicked in, they realized, like I said, I mentioned that one channel, which I thought was fine. There was nothing controversial, at least I didn't think so. He was closing in on 1 million subscribers and needed help with Patreon. Like I said, I was surprised, but
Mm.
it can happen.
Mhm.
It can happen, and I'm sure it's not the only one. But hopefully, with the so-called purge, things will level out to where it was before all this
Mhm.
depurging or purging started. Anyway, Joe Panico is in the house. Hello, Joe, my fellow Italiano. How are you, Joe? He's another Ubuntu Mate man, I think. Yeah. Well, speaking of Ubuntu, I know we've spoken about the data collection. I think I'm more okay with it now since I've been testing Ubuntu 18.04 because for the final version, if Ubuntu can put in a master switch for privacy on or off, I'm cool with that. And let's say there was a master switch off. Once you get on the web, you talked about it. Do you really have private? And can you erase yourself off the internet? There's a topic next time. Can you erase yourself off the internet? I
Not
don't.
easily, possibly not at all. I mean,
You can do things like delete accounts you don't use and use like
you
DuckDuckGo,
can
but
confuse the data. Why don't we save that as a topic for next
next
time?
time,
I got
yeah.
some neat ideas.
I think that's a good topic for next time. But as
Yeah.
far as the Ubuntu thing, I think it's a lot easier to switch off than a Windows 10. The Windows 10,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't switch it off.
Yeah,
You can't.
you can't,
You,
yeah.
you can do little tweaks, but in the end, they got you.
Hmm.
And the only choice you have is don't use Windows 10.
Yeah. Yeah, with Ubuntu, there's three things you need to be aware of with the data collection, and they're all easy to deal with. So
Yes. Yeah.
that's kind of
Yeah,
the,
it isn't like they're trying to hide it or,
Mhm.
I guess they're going to be transparent and post their results and all that.
Yeah,
So,
well, that's part of the PopCon application. That's always been public. That was
Okay.
been a thing at Debian for a
Okay.
while. Now, I believe, however, PopCon is no longer installed by default. It used to
Ah.
be what Ubuntu is doing now, I believe, installed by default but not activated.
Okay.
But on
Okay.
my Debian stretch build, which was just a clean Debian build on the most recent stable,
Yeah, yeah.
it's not installed at all. It never has
Okay.
been.
Joe says no erase of the internet. They don't call it cyberspace for nothing. Well, Joe, what can I say? Yeah.
The
Yeah,
cyberspace is written in ink.
Yep. The Skynet's coming. It's coming, and you cannot go back. But anyway, Joe, you missed my. I don't have a kitty cam, but I have a stuffed animal cam.
Yeah.
Anyway, so those are my thoughts on data collection. So some people are, not too happy, really not happy. I get it. I
Yeah.
understand. I think I posted a video half jokingly, Ubuntu the next Windows 10. It's not. It's not, okay? Maybe that was a
Yeah.
bit of a clickbaity thing, but it's not.
No, that's nothing wrong with that.
But I'm curious to see once they post the results, what the results are going to be.
Mhm. Yeah, and I mean, it's not bad enough to completely boycott it, but I'm certainly not going to be uh, vocally supporting Ubuntu. I mean, that's the thing because it should be a complete opt-in, not
Yes. Yeah.
a we're
Yeah.
going to have it opt out
Yeah.
because
Yes.
we want to collect the data on the people who aren't paying attention. I don't like that, and I don't actually like
Well,
that AppPort is installed. That's probably the biggest danger is that AppPort is installed by default and activated by default. And
mm,
that's kind of
yeah.
probably the worst program, but that's the one we're talking about the least.
Okay.
Scary.
Well, I mean, Ubuntu is not my favorite desktop because no desktop environment is not my favorite desktop. Although I've been testing it today, I did a live test on the Toshiba satellite with it. It's surprisingly stable for a pre-beta build or whatever they're calling it. So it's growing on me, but it's still not my favorite desktop. And I still
Mm-hmm.
like the Mate desktop for its simplicity.
Mm-hmm.
But again, if the data collection thing bothers you and shutting it off is not an option, go to your Peppermint, go to your Integros, go to Ubuntu Mate. But
Yeah.
there is some data collection with all of them at some level, right?
Um.
I think there
It,
is.
well, not in the same way. I mean,
Okay.
obviously, their websites will. Most of them, their websites are going to be running Google Analytics, so they can
Yeah.
track some of the information there. Of course, Google Analytics does attach a machine ID unless you block that. You have, I mean, you can be as a privacy-centric user, you can be conscious about not allowing Google Analytics to track you. That's
Okay.
not a
Okay.
difficult thing to do.
Okay.
Just host file block the analytics script.
Right.
That's not a big deal. So, as far as other basic data collection, they know about approximately ish, maybe how many downloads there are, depending on how many download channels there are. So, like if you're grabbing it from a torrent, they have no idea
Hmm.
how many people are downloading it. If SourceForge is the only place, they can see how many downloads there are. So, in reality, I don't think there is really that much data collection among the Linux distros. You just got
Mm.
to watch for those couple applications.
Yeah.
Of course, Red Hat kind of knows but somebody used that argument, but Red Hat's a corporate thing, not a personal desktop thing. And so you expect a little bit more of that in there, particularly since Red Hat's entire business model is supporting systems. Obviously, they know how many systems there are because they're supporting them.
So
So,
is there such a thing as an insecure distro?
and insecure?
Yeah.
What do you mean insecure distro?
I mean, like, not as secure as what it can be. Meaning, safe in terms of data collection.
Um,
You know what I mean? Like, is there such a thing as a Linux distro that you might as well use Windows 10? Probably doesn't exist, but it's just a thought.
no, I don't know of any that collect data to that level.
I don't know
I
either.
mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
let's break down what are the three applications in Ubuntu because some people are still very unclear. The first application is the installer. The new
Yeah.
installer will send basic system information. I object to this because a system fingerprint, while this system fingerprint does
Hmm.
not personally identify you, it can be used if somebody is trying to track down who and what and whatever else you are, it can be used to identify you, which is very critical for
Okay.
activists and journalists. It is very critical that that type of information is not in the wild, public or otherwise, de-anonymized or otherwise. It's better to not send anonymized data than to send nothing.
So,
It's better to not send data at all.
so in the Ubuntu installer, there is an opt-out. I mean,
The
like in the final
installer has an
version.
opt out.
Okay.
Yes. So
Okay.
that is going to, in the final installer, opt out to send the basic system fingerprint. That is, what does your system hardware profile look like?
Got it.
Do
Okay.
you have an
Okay.
an active internet connection? Have you chosen to install the codecs? What other, are you installing the full or the
Okay.
minimal install?
So if
Things
you
like that.
switch that, if you opt out, is
Toggle
that
that off.
enough? Is that enough?
No.
Ah.
because toggling that off just means that on the install, they're not sending the data.
Okay.
The second thing you need to watch for, and we're going to move this up the list, and that's the app port. That's
Okay.
your most important because the app port sends the exact same information.
Oh.
And it is enabled by default. It will only trigger if there is a system crash somewhere.
Ah.
Now, the difference is when they first put this in, which I think was 1704, I think, don't quote me exactly because I don't follow this stuff exactly. When they first put this in, every time there was a system crash, it would pop up and ask, do you want to send a bug report? Now it does that automatically.
Okay.
And so that sends the same exact data and what you were doing when it happens, which is even more critical.
Isn't it okay to send bug reports to make it better?
It is okay to send bug reports to help make it better, but it should always be an optional thing because activists and journalists cannot have that stuff in the wild. That's the problem. Is there are people who need as much privacy as is possible. Now, if you need that much privacy, you should be using Tails because Tails spoofs the fingerprint. And they can see you're on Tails, but they can't see anything else.
Okay, so Ubuntu made a statement on exactly what they're going to collect, and it doesn't seem sinister. Assuming that they keep to their promise of what they want to collect, is that bad?
No, it's not sinister. But it is still something that certain sectors of people who use Linux can't have out there. And that's why it should be opt-in.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
No, but because it's important because I've actually worked with these activist groups.
Okay.
And I was one of their chief web designer for a large conglomerate of activist groups. It was hardcore about encrypting everything, HTTPS on everything, text messaging only through Signal or other encrypted apps. Things like that were the things that were important. Now, I was crazy. They started pushing all these type of security things. I'm like, y'all want security? I'm doing all your work on cubes now. I mean, deal with it. So, and that is the important part. But I mean, there's people out there that don't need that data, and so the fact that it's there and it's collecting and sending data automatically is a problem. So you beat that by once it's installed, you go into settings, privacy, and you disable the send bug reports. And then if you're ultra paranoid, then you sudo apt uninstall apport, apport.
Okay.
That gets rid of the application that sends the bug reports.
Okay.
And then third is the popcon, which is installed but not activated on installation, at least yet.
Okay.
I don't know if it will be on the final release.
Okay.
But
I don't have a problem sending bug reports when I want to.
Correct. Yeah.
Let's
talk about popcon real quick, though.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Because popcon is potentially the most sinister because it keeps the software fingerprint of your system rather than the hardware fingerprint, but it attaches it to a user ID that is stored both on Ubuntu servers and on your computer, so they can link you back to that server and a time and possibly an IP address because they're only clearing IP addresses once a week. And it's after all the data comes.
So what if we delete that and keep the app port? Is that acceptable?
Well, deleting popcon?
Yeah.
Well, deleting popcon and keeping the app port sends the system fingerprint. Popcon sends the software fingerprint.
Ah, okay.
And that's the difference. Now, the app port is much more anonymized. So the app port is safer from that perspective.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Okay.
Popcon is not safer in fact, popcon is the least safe of this because it can be tracked back to an individual machine versus app port cannot.
So if a person was to delete popcon, that would not affect their system at all, right?
No. Okay. I've actually deleted it from my VirtualBox.
Okay. Well then, if someone doesn't like it, like what Ubuntu is doing, but likes Ubuntu in general. That's fair. Just delete popcon and keep the app port to help them with the bugs.
Yep.
I'm just trying to be diplomatic here.
Absolutely. But there's people it doesn't matter. Like, I generally I don't mind keeping the app port on for that, but I'm cognizant because I've worked with these people that there are people that cannot have this type of stuff going out in the wild. Now, app port has helped a lot,
Okay.
Apport has helped them identify a lot of bugs, solve a lot of issues, and it's a lot easier than digging through the forums to figure some things out. So I mean, it's fine that it's there. I just wish it wasn't all installed. I would like
Okay.
to see on their new installer a privacy box. Check this box to send information on basic data collection on this.
The
This will
master
help us
switch.
and
The master.
understand.
Yeah.
This will
Yeah.
help us understand who's using Ubuntu, what
Mm-hmm.
circumstances. Here's another thing on that same page, PopCon. Here's a link to what PopCon is. Would you like to use PopCon? Yes, no. And if it's no, don't even install the stupid thing. Just that seems to be what
Okay.
Debian has done in Stretch.
Okay, so an extra layer of transparency.
Yep,
An
and
extra
then
page.
a third box, because
Okay.
there are three things. A third box, this is all one page, 3 checkboxes.
Okay.
All opted out by default with the ability, would you like to help improve Ubuntu by sending bug reports? Click the box, it installs and enables Apport.
Well, if Canonical watches this podcast, there you go. Controversy
And
solved.
absolutely. I would have zero problem with that. 100%. I would be praising them for saying, we have found the middle to collect system data from people that don't consider that important, but preserving the privacy of the people who do.
A choice, which you don't have in the Windows 10, basically.
Correct. Yep.
You still have a choice. I'm cool with that. Okay. All right.
Yeah. And so I'm fine with that. But if
Okay.
Ubuntu is your go-to distro, it is easy to solve it. In fact, what I might do, maybe, is install it offline, download the installer, get it offline, install it all, remove those applications, then plug it into the internet and do my updates. That's what I might do. I mean, if I were being that paranoid about it. When I'm not this paranoid in real life. And it's just, we have to think about these things, especially in this age of hackers and whistleblowers and things like that. And that's the thing I think
it's easy to get. I got an email, was it yesterday, and it turned out to be what they call spoof email. Something on my PayPal was charged for movie tickets out west. I don't live out west, and I'm like, and it was charged to this ABC credit card with these numbers. I said, well, I don't have an ABC credit card. That's not my last 4 numbers anyway. But I called to verify, and they said, no, your account, there's no activity, and it's. But I think that's what they call spoofing. They're searching, they're fishing for something, and maybe that's a topic for another show: how to avoid being scammed.
Yeah.
But I guess that happens a lot. But once I saw the email, I'm like, that doesn't look official. It's just one of those things you get. But I called just to verify, and they said there's no activity on your account.
And
so
some of them seem so official. In fact, I had somebody in the I think it was the GameStop breach where my debit card number was stolen. And then some moron tried to steal, $2,500 out of the account, which the bank, of course, said, that seems a little fishy.
Yeah.
And so their automated system called me. But you never talk to these. A 1-800 number calls you. Oh, verify the last 4 numbers of your credit card. No, you hang up the phone, you look at your card, and you call the number on the back of the card. It's exactly what I did.
Well,
it ended up being a legitimate call, but I have 15 calls a week from scammer 1-800 numbers.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
If a bank or a scammer calls you 1-800 number, if they're like, this is your bank, you hang up and then you call the number on the back of your card.
I haven't gotten those calls, it seems like, in a long time, but I'm waiting to get one. And then when I realize what I'll go into,
I'm going to forward my phone number to you because I don't get any calls but those.
I'm waiting for one call like that when I'm in the mood to do. I'll do my accents. I'm waiting to do my Mexican drug lord. So when the guy calls me, "What's your freaking problem, man? You little cockroach! I'm going to find you," just to scare the crap out of the guy.
I always pick up as a Bujafar. Hello, Dijabu.
Well, see, that's what I want to do to the guy when he calls from India or
Excuse me. I want
Bangladesh.
To go now.
But when he says, we need information on your credit, you little cockroach, I'm going to rip your throat, and so that'll make him
I should answer as Arnold someday. Hello.
I will kill you. Yeah, I know. I will find you and I will kill you.
I'll be back with a pencil.
I should try that one of these days just to see what happens. I'll probably get a click. you
I
know.
usually
But
get, if I answer as a boo, I usually get hung up. But wouldn't you know it, this one time the scammers called, a friend of mine was just stopping by for something, and one of the scammers called me, and I answered the phone as a boo. And I kept them on the phone for 30 minutes. I had to keep this Indian accent for 30 minutes on the phone. It was awesome.
oh god,
I recorded the call. I still
I
have
need
the
I
call.
need help with my Ubuntu. How do I install Windows 10 in
Yeah,
Ubuntu?
it
I'm
was
lost.
another one of those vacation packages.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
this sounds very fun. So I actually have entire profiles for the scammers. So I got the
Uh,
Boo, and then I have Michael Johnson, and they're gay lovers. Actually, it's really hilarious.
My cousin one time got a call for a vacation or like a money package. My cousin says, I'll take it. Send me the money first and I'll buy the vacation package. And I thought I heard, no, sir, we can't. He just went click. It just doesn't waste his time, you know. But it's for some people it's easy to get scammed because, like you said, sometimes it looks legit email. But I guess the thing here is if you're not sure, don't give information away. Don't log in and go to the other website that might call. In this case, I called PayPal and they said no, sir, there is no activity. Problem solved. It's that simple, you know. But nowadays, who knows how many millions of attempts are made for spoofing or phishing and all that stuff. It has to be mind-boggling worldwide, in my opinion. But it can happen, you know. So be aware. And if you're not sure about something, don't give personal information out. Just don't do it, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I have in case the scammers call and they want to, they want to actually be like literally. This is my profile actually, so I don't get stung up on all my numbers and stuff. But I actually give them a specific phone number, which is a police department in Orlando.
that's
Yeah.
pretty good. That's pretty good.
I figure if the scammers start trying to call back the police department, something might get done.
Yeah, something like it. Who's this
I
guy
certainly
calling?
know the attorney general ain't doing anything.
Yeah,
about
right.
it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
call them up, they're like,
Right.
"Oh, I think these are scammer guys, and they're out of our jurisdiction." I'm like, "Yeah, I told you that in my complaint, you moron." But what was I expecting? Intelligence from a government official? I don't know.
Well, you can ask, but
Well, I mean, the best you do is report it.
yeah,
Because if enough people report it, then 15 years down the line, the FTC moves down the line and then fines them 5% of their total revenue and calls it a fine. And that's exactly why FTC is not going to help net neutrality.
okay. Let's take a quick poll here in the chat. Does Ubuntu scare you? We'll do a quick poll, yes or no. I guess you could put don't care, but I'm looking for a yes or no. Does Ubuntu scare you with the new policy? Just out of curiosity. We got about 15, 16 people. Quick poll. I know, Tom, you still use cinnamon, right? Mint cinnamon? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And I've been watching the forums, looking to see if Mint the team releases anything. I haven't seen anything released on it yet, but
Okay.
Most of the people who've been using Mint for a long time and things just generally would say, "Nah, that's not something that Mint would usually do." They would usually take that out. And being as it's only 3 applications, it's pretty easy.
XP got a good response. Doesn't scare me any more than Windows 10. Okay.
There you go. Canonical scares Clive, huh? Wait for another
Well, right
year
now,
until you
Linux-
get Ubuntu Tech, and it's going to be $100.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I
that's
think they're setting themselves up to go as an IPO. That's what I think they want to do. I
It
think,
looks like it because they're narrowing their line.
Yeah.
That's really why they stopped supporting or stopped developing Unity and
Yes. Yeah.
things like that. It's
Yes.
so they can focus on the server and the IoT, which are good places to go, but they're also attractive places to go. And it wouldn't surprise me if Microsoft buys it.
Yes. Rose came in late. So, Rose, this is my kitty cam. All right. It's fake, but hey.
Yeah, whatever.
Use Antergos? Okay. All right. So some yes, some no. So it's it's a choice thing. Don't use it. If it bothers you, just go on to something else. Myself, I'm sticking with Ubuntu Monte because it just works out of the box. And that's the beauty of something like, is it a raccoon? Yeah, I guess it is I think it looks more like a fox, right?
That's
I
a
don't
raccoon.
know.
That's
Is it
right.
rack? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
look at the size. Eyes are
Ah,
definitely
got it,
right
got
there.
it. Okay, all right. I need to watch more National Geographic, but I don't know. But thanks, Tom. Um, yeah, I'm not. I mean, I like testing Ubuntu in my test machine, but there's something to be said for any distro. For me, it's Ubuntu Mate, but there's something to. Joe says micro bandit. Okay, there's something to be said for any OS that just works out of the box, and you don't have to do a lot of tweaks or extensions. Hint to make it usable. And
Yeah.
that's why I don't recommend GNOME for beginners. Now, once they get acclimated to Linux, say after 6 months or a year, I think GNOME is usable. But to start them off like that, and then, wait, I have to install extensions to do this, it's not right for them, in my opinion. So,
Yeah, well, the biggest problem with extensions, like if you've ever done any work in like WordPress, you'll realize that the biggest issue with extensions and things is they're
yeah.
developed by different people, and you will find incompatibilities, you'll find
Ah,
inconsistencies in code, you'll have extensions built by inexperienced people, you'll have all sorts of stuff like this when you're piecemealing something together like that.
okay.
That's why it should be available from the developers themselves so they
Okay.
can streamline the code best. Otherwise, you could end up installing 15 extensions to get the system exactly what you want, but then it becomes a clunky mess.
Yeah.
And I've seen that happen all over the
Yeah.
place.
I did a live test of Ubuntu GNOME 17.10. I think I had to install between 9 or 10 extensions to make it just the way I want it. And you
Mhm.
cannot ask a newbie to just do that off the bat. It's
Correct. Like for me, and fortunately Ubuntu fixed this, but other distros running GNOME don't. I absolutely hate hot corners, and they have that stupid hot corner in GNOME
I
that you
don't use
need
it.
an
Yeah.
extension to get rid of. Why do I need an extension to get rid of a hot corner in a desktop
Why
environment?
not just turn it off? You're
Yeah.
right, because when I downloaded Ubuntu and it installed, no crashes. I have to admit I was impressed by Canonical, but it's like, the first thing I did was install the GNOME Tweak Tool because I wanted to look at themes and how to adjust my fonts. Why is that piece of software, that lone extension, why is not that installed by default? Some
Mhm.
people like to change their fonts or their themes or customize the look, and
Mhm.
without that, I don't think you can out of the box, can you?
I don't think so.
No.
Tweak Tool do it or not? I can't remember. I don't know. I don't run GNOME.
Well, they call it GNOME Tweaks or GNOME Tweak Tool or maybe just Tweaks.
I've been eyeing these little tablets for like $100. They're kind of
Uh-huh.
like the
Yeah.
the hybrid tablet-y type
Mhm.
things. It's like I want to research these, and
Yeah.
if I could get one of those that's capable of running it, I'd like to. Like I think that's the type of environment I'd like to try GNOME on.
Okay.
Something that can be a tablet, because I mean my tablet broke as well, and so
Uh,
it'd be nice to have another small tablet again.
okay.
That certainly isn't as beefy as the PC. Like I have the Surface, but that's not a tablet type.
I don't use my tablets as much, I have to be honest, since I got a fairly large size HTC Max 5.9-inch screen, but
Mhm.
I have an iPad mini.
Yeah,
I've got a Toshiba Thrive, if you remember that. That has all the ports
yeah.
on it. It's super, super friendly.
Hmm.
I got a Samsung Galaxy 3. It's only dual core. It's kind of slow, but it works.
Hmm.
But I normally use them more in the summertime, like out on the porch, going to the
Yep.
pool, on the garage. That's when I use a tablet to stream music to my Bluetooth. But in the wintertime, I don't use them much.
Hmm.
Now, I stick my Toshiba laptop in the garage. Like if I'm working on the car cleaning, I'll play some music or catch up on a video. But tablets, not as much as I thought I would use them, especially in the wintertime. I just don't.
So, what's your take now? How has your views changed on those? Because remember when tablets first came out and they were just going to replace PCs. I mean, remember that?
I remember when the iPad came out, and my first thought was that sounds like a feminine napkin thing, pad. No, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It just. But when they said this is the future, well, I mean, I guess it's cool, but I did not jump on the bandwagon. I did not. The Toshiba Thrive, I bought it used. It was $400 new. I paid like $100 for it, and I was cool with that. But that was like 4 years later after the iPad came out. But no, I was not drawn immediately into, ooh, look at that Star Trek, pad or whatever. I
Yeah.
think they're still cool. They still have their place. But no, I'm not I'm not into it that much. At least not in the winter. I will use it more in the summer.
Hmm.
So half the year, I just don't really care for it,
Yeah.
So
I have
yeah,
an iPad Air 1. Now, of course, I originally got tablets for testing because, of course, in that time, everyone had them. I mean, they weren't particularly
yeah,
useful, but everyone had them. And so I had to test out websites on them, and they produced this entirely new realm of websites that was just a nightmare.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I got tablets for that. And the first one I got was an iPad 2,
Uh
just the
huh.
original iPad 2, which was,
Yeah.
and honestly, I like the tablets. I keep in the living room. Now, of course, my iPad can control my Kodi TV, but it's
Ah.
also, I mean, it stays in the living room. I use it in the
Okay.
weight room as well. So I'll use it in the weight room to do stuff in the weight room while I'm in there. That's plugged into some
You know
speakers.
what I miss? I hate to sound like Fred Flintstone-ish, but my CD boombox cassette player of 20 plus years crapped out.
Oh,
Like you hit boombox, you hit the bass boost, and it gives you that umph. It sounds like a boom. Because I would play that like in the bathroom while showering, shaving, whatever I got to do, and it came in handy. And I didn't want to drag my iPad with my Bluetooth. I forgot to. I just want to plug it in. When you think about it, maybe it's a guy thing, Tom. I don't know if you have a boom box in the shower or whatever, but
I
it
mean,
went out. So I have a Sony one that doesn't have a boom boost, and it sounds awful. I mean, it's a
yeah,
Sony, it's
it sounds
quality.
terribly.
Yeah, and it doesn't
You
sound
know,
right. So yeah,
that's
yeah.
another interesting side question we can talk
I
about.
missed the boom.
The
I
old
missed the boom.
days.
Yeah, I missed the
Something
boom
in the old
box.
days is that remember when we had like different devices for different things and now honestly, no, when I go into the shower and do something like that, it's I just use my iPhone.
Really?
Just
Yeah.
play something in there.
Yeah, sometimes I'll bring my
It's
phone in
not
there, but I'm
good.
scared to get water on it. And
Still
you know
good.
what? I mean, with a boom
But
box, it's all, it's right there. I just grab the handle, plug it in. And
yeah,
if it gets sweat, if I destroy it, it's not $500 or $600. It's like $80 or whatever they cost now.
yeah,
But I've noticed most of them, the sound, they suck. Even with the
yeah,
boom boost, they don't. I came across one on Amazon. It had good ratings and they're sold out. Gee, I wonder why.
yeah.
But that's the one thing I miss is a good boot box of all the things. I never would expect it. I mean, Bluetooth is nice going out by the pool. You bring your tablet or your phone. You sync your Bluetooth speaker. That's okay. But there's nothing like a good old-fashioned boom in the boom box. I think they
Yeah,
used to call them ghetto blasters at one time. But
yeah, something like that.
yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, and I don't know, it's just how
yeah,
things have changed. But now
yeah,
I've never thought tablets. In fact, after I got a tablet, I liked tablets. I thought they were useful. They were
yeah,
fun. I put a
yeah.
few games on them,
Yes,
and what was really interesting is seeing the evolution of how you did things. Because of course, we lived before the internet too.
yes,
And then we saw the internet, and then we started becoming these ever-connected lives. And then as I'm starting my businesses, going back almost a decade,
yeah,
I had the laptops, but you can't check your email until the laptops are there, and so
yeah,
you don't
yeah.
get your start doing. And I think that this is probably something that made our culture worse. But I'm trying to think, was it the phone? Yeah, it was the smartphone I got first. And for the first time with a smartphone, I could actually check my email and even respond to small things without even turning on the computer. So it helped out the day in the respect that I didn't have to go into the office quite as quick, but I could still take care of some of the important stuff. And that actually made the day more productive because
It's a matter of convenience. It's right there.
well,
It's
I
right
mean,
there.
I
Yeah.
had the ability to get up, in the morning and spend, 20 minutes looking at the email, responding to anything important. And that meant that was 20 minutes I didn't have to spend doing it when I was actually ready to start working.
But see, there's another topic for a future video. I just thought of it.
Yeah.
Is
Are you writing these
is
down? I'm not.
maybe I should.
Yeah, write
But
them down.
okay, well, we had the one thing. Maybe I should. I have a pen. Hang on. Maybe I should. Well, the next topic should be: can you erase yourself? Right. Okay.
Yes.
From
Erase
the
yourself
internet,
from the internet.
not the movie Eraser with Arnold. That's not what I meant. You'll be erased. So that's one
You'll be
topic, and
back.
I'll be back. And then the next topic I just had a thought is technology replacing humanity. How's that for a thought?
Technology replacing humanity.
Meaning there's yeah, well, there you go, like Skynet and all that. Are we on that path? There was a wonderful X-Files episode this past Wednesday. Somebody recommended it. I missed it, but then somebody said, Toss, go see it. It's good. It's, Scully and Mulder are in this all-technology restaurant, and all the workers are robots. There's no people in there at all, just those two. It's at night, and there's very little dialogue in the script. That was creepy. So she orders something. It's the correct order. He orders something. It's not what he ordered. He tries to take his credit card out. It's stuck. He goes to the back to complain to the chef. It's like 3 robots staring at him. He's like, I'm out of here. He doesn't say it, but he's like in his eyes, I'm out of here, pal. He leaves, but then he grabs the card, I think, but it says, do you want to leave a tip? He's like, hell no. You must leave a tip. So now the robots follow them because they want that tip. And they terrorize these two for like 60 minutes of the show. It was kind of a spoof, but it makes you think, how far can AI go?
Well, I mean, we have Flippy already. Of course, if you watch Level 1 Tax, you know, Flippy is the name they have for the robot that makes burgers.
Okay.
Now here, of course, Sheets originates right here, like the next city over in Altoona, Tooneytown, which not even Altoona. It's whatever the small town is right next to Altoona. I forget the name. But right there in the same city is Del Grosso, which of course is pasta company and amusement park. I can't figure that out, but combination pasta factory and amusement park.
Maybe the pasta is amusing.
The thing is that it's a testament to how much businesses talk, because if you go into Del Grosso now, they just remodeled it. We didn't go there last year. We went to Hershey last year, but me and Tyler always go out a couple different amusement parks every year. And last time we were there 2 years ago, every restaurant that they had remodeled, they cut the staff in half. Automating kiosks.
Okay.
And it wouldn't surprise me if they're automating some or all of the food production next.
Okay.
But that's right next to, of course, Del Grosso's is right there. Sheets corporate headquarters is also right there. And Sheets was the ones that really started to pioneer that. 5-10 years ago, Sheets was already putting automated ordering kiosks in their gas stations.
Okay.
So you go to the order, you can order the food, you can order everything. Now there's still people with humans in the back, but it's becoming less and less humans involved.
Well, there's a future topic, is technology. I mean, so the X-Files episode of it, I just saw, it's not that far-fetched, is it?
No, and it's not, and it's something that we have to stop and think about, because in a society where all of the people's jobs have been replaced by robots, how do we make an income?
Where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line where the technology encroaches on our humanity, on our decency? Where does that technology road, where does that road must stop? Because humanity must take precedent. I'm just talking out, thinking out loud, but
and that's those are scary and hard questions.
It's got nothing to do with Linux or Windows. It's all of it. It's not just Linux.
They're unfortunately probably Linux-powered robots. That evil Linux and everything.
Evil Linux.
Unless actually, it might very well be the Microsoft has an IoT platform now as well. So
okay.
So
well, who knows what's planned 10 years, about 20 years from now that they don't want to tell us.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's feasible that there's something. I mean, looking at what the Rockefellers have done.
Yes.
So that's kind of scary. Yeah, I think I was talking now. Let's see, the tablets and stuff. To watch the tablets move, and then eventually the tablet for me replaced the phone because it was better, more convenient. But since I got the iPad Air 2, I can check my email if I needed to. I don't think I've ever done it.
But now phones are getting bigger. I got a 5.9 inch, and this is big for me. But now they got a 6 point, and now they call them phablets, phone tablets, Yeah. This is huge. This barely fits in my pocket.
Yeah, I mean, I have the Nexus 5X, which I like as a phone, but it's too big for me. I mean, this is too big.
Yeah, this is as big as I'll go. Yeah.
I love the iPhone SE. This is the size difference.
Yeah.
I mean, that is. I don't need any more than that.
I will say this. I wear contacts, so I kind of appreciate a larger screen. I will say that because of my eyes. But to go bigger than that, Man,
You may as
it's
well have a tablet because I mean
you
the
might
size
as
of
well.
this to a tablet. But the reason I want another tablet, like I don't do much on the iPad. I really
Yeah,
don't like to do much on the iPad. I mostly have it for development testing and then just a few other little odds and
yeah,
ends.
yeah.
But my I wanted to get I had a nice 7-inch tablet from
Hmm.
Dell that I use it basically I use as an e-reader really.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah,
and
7 inch.
that's what I want. But I'm
My
looking for
Samsung
a
is
tablet.
that
And if
my
anybody knows
yeah.
in the comments, if anyone knows of a good tablet that will run Lineage, let me know because that's what I'm looking for. I've looked at all of the stores in town here. Nothing they sell runs Lineage.
My HTC Max, I looked into Lineage. It's not on their list, so I can't use it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so
I
yeah.
mean, we have all Best Buy has now, other than Insignia crap, which is the crappiest tablets I've ever seen. I call them craplets, really. They have Insignia, they have Amazon Kindles, and they
Yes.
have Samsung's Galaxies. But it's the Galaxy A, which is not on the list. And I
Mm,
looked them up specifically, and Twerp works for it, but there's no custom ROMs for it at this time.
okay. And you got to
Um,
watch because
and
you could
then
brick your thing if you do it wrong.
Correct.
So yeah.
Yeah. And
Mm.
so I checked out Wally World, and
Mm-hmm.
Wally World has a Howie tablet. Um,
Howie.
yeah.
Oh.
Is that how you
Oh,
pronounce that?
Huawei. Huawei.
Huawei? I don't know. I call it
I was
Howie.
thinking of
Whatever.
Howie. Then they, okay. Well,
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
whatever. Huawei. I speak English. I don't know. Tell a Chinese company to speak English. But anyway, how do you pronounce that?
Huawei. I think it's
Huawei?
Huawei. I
Okay.
think
Well, there's an
Huawei.
H in there.
Yeah.
What, I have to worry
Huawei.
about silent H's now?
Huawei.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Huawei. All right, sure. They have a Huawei. They have another couple Samsungs. They might have one of the Samsungs they have might be on the list, but it's a 10-inch tablet. I don't want a 10-inch tablet. This is for e-reader. I want it to be small. And I think they had something else. Nothing on their list. So.
Okay. Um, I just had a thought slightly off top. We talked about when this technology and humanity, where does technology take over? But I think in Germany, I read last year that people were getting hurt crossing the streets, staring to their phones. So they
Mhm.
stuck lights on the
Yeah.
road as you to keep you aware, and that's how bad it's gotten. And I think was it France where you can get a ticket if you cross and they catch you staring at your phone crossing
Mhm.
the street. Good for
This
them.
is this
Yeah.
raises an interesting question because I'm a person that I love to walk and read. Now,
Okay.
I have the common sense not to do that through a city where I'm passing through streets, but I will walk down the streets and the neighborhoods,
Okay.
sidewalks, and of course I always stop if I hit a crosswalk. You stop, hold your place, and intelligently look both ways before you cross the street.
You know, yeah, I prefer this. Like when I go shopping at Kroger's or whatever. Well, I prefer. Maybe it's the habit, but I prefer to stop and look versus walk because I don't want to accidentally bump into someone. Or God
Mhm.
forbid, someone's carrying groceries. I hit them and their eggs fall, and I wasn't paying attention. But I tend to, either slow down or just stop and look, and then I'll walk. Now Kroger's, they have like a place where you can grab a drink, a cup of coffee, sit down out in the machine, and then I'll catch up there. But it feels uncomfortable for me to walk normally at a constant pace and stare at a phone. It doesn't feel natural to me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me, but
Hmm.
but that's safer. So
Yeah, yeah, and it raises questions for me because it's like I walk and read. How does that affect me walking and reading? Well, I'm not staring at a smartphone,
yeah,
um,
true.
but I think that the
Well,
amount
I
of people staring at smartphones, not paying attention to the world around them, is a big problem.
I think it's the awareness thing of possible danger or whatever, whether it's a phone or a book or whatever. Because you
Hmm.
just never know, especially crossing the street. By God. Um, But yeah, that's when technology does take over humanity or it takes over
Hmm.
common sense. And we don't think about it till maybe something happens to you or a friend gets hurt or a car wreck and then it might be too late. So,
Hmm.
there was a wonderful highway sign I saw last year during one of my news and nonsense. And normally highway signs will say caution, construction ahead, please slow down. This one said, get your head out of your apps. Beautiful site, beautiful site. So,
Well, I
yeah.
don't, was it last summer? Yeah, it was last summer. No, it wasn't last summer. It was like 18 months ago when Pokemon Go came out. I was
Ah,
crisscrossing the country. That was 2016. You would not believe the number of major road signs. Just the huge road signs.
it
Don't
was
play Pokemon
crazy. It
Go.
was
It's like
people were wrecking their
the
cars and
fact
walking off a
we
cliff. I
needed
mean,
a road sign to say stop playing Pokemon Go while you're driving 95 miles an hour down the interstate is just I mean, what do we expect? This society eats Tide Pods. I mean,
it's a freaking game. Joe says all I do with the iPad is watch Linux streams from the UK until you fall asleep. Nice.
mm. All right, so Clyde Joe says about the network. What do we think about the network manager connectivity Ubuntu? Which I didn't know what a thing was, so I looked it up, and yeah, I think it's horrible. Ubuntu, yeah, Ubuntu's just getting scarier. So, say package contains a configuration file which enables Network Manager's connectivity checking function.
Uh-huh.
Network Manager will try to connect to an Ubuntu server to determine the connection status.
Oh.
This is particularly useful for captive portal detection. No user data is transmitted in the connectivity checks, but merely contacting the Ubuntu connectivity check server reveals that the user is running an Ubuntu-based operating system with Network Manager.
Hmm.
That's creepy. And by the way, I just read that from Canonical's official.
Right.
Not,
Yeah.
not my
Sure,
take
but
on
yeah,
that.
I'm not sure about that one either.
Stop pinging your servers. Okay, stop trying to determine all of this data. Stop it. I might have to go ahead and amend some of my opinion on Ubuntu here. This is getting crazy. So
Like
now
I
it
said,
begs the question: this is
ooh,
running in my
like
Linux Mint or
well,
not?
well, like I said, I like one master switch for that privacy on off. Problem solved.
There you go.
There you go. If I don't mind sending bug reports if it helps, it helps, and I completely understand that. You want to be part of the community to help, because that's what we're here for. But where do you draw the line? Again, where does technology take over humanity? Where is that line? Is that line crossed when techs drive and someone gets hurt? Well, you cross the line if someone gets hurt, right? So it is scary. 20 years ago, when I lived in Florida back in the 90s, there was there was internet, but not on this scale. My first cell phone was half a brick. It was an NEC phone. Things just progress from there. It's kind of almost scary when you think about it. It's hard to keep up. It really is hard to keep up. So, I still don't quite understand how cryptocurrency works. I don't get it. Is that fake money?
I mean, it is running calculations. It is running calculations that is basically by running the calculations, it's storing things. Now, according to Pizza 11 Nerd, I don't know if Pizza 11 Nerd's on here. Pizza, are you on?
Pizza.
According to Pizza, who had an uncle that used to work with CoinHive,
Okay.
who was involved in them, the allegedly what they are doing with that is they are actually all of those calculations are attempting to decrypt encryption keys. So basically, you're helping hackers, according to what he has to say.
Jeez.
So,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. It's crazy. Steven says a privacy button is coming to Windows. Spring update, really? Is it a master privacy button or just a couple of things?
Even if, at this point, even if they do that,
yeah,
I still don't care.
Okay.
I'm done. They've lost credibility.
Well,
at this point, they're reacting to the craziness.
Yeah. Right now, because Linux has gotten so good, that is my backup operating system in case something happens in Linux. Whereas before, Windows was the primary. But I don't go into Windows. I'll do the updates, security patches. You still want to do that. But it's my backup operating system right now. I hate waiting for updates and they're rebooting and this. It drives me nuts. But there's something to be said for quick updates. In Linux, maybe reboot once and you're done. It's 10 times faster. So, and that's the beauty of it. Distro 2 posted something. Windows is better than Linux. It was like a parody, and he says something like, "Yes, Windows is the master of viruses. They own it, man. They're great at viruses," and he had like a list of stuff like that. So Windows is definitely better than Linux at that, you know. Um, yeah, whatever that privacy button is, Stephen Anner, it's probably not a 100% master switch if I had to guess. So.
Now, is it a privacy button, or are they referencing the application that now tells you the data that's being sent out in encrypted code that only Microsoft understands for now?
Yeah, I don't know. Yep, Merry Melodies fan. Yeah, Linux does the whole update process much smoother, you know. And sometimes you don't even have to reboot, but sometimes you do, and that's fine, you know. But it's usually just one reboot, not multiple. So, you know. So for the next, so I wrote down erasing yourself for the next one. Either erasing yourself on the internet, is it possible? And is technology replacing humanity? I think those are two pretty good topics. So, the what?
I thought we had a third one too, didn't we?
A third one? Do we have a third topic?
In between those two, I thought.
Maybe not. I don't think so. Good evening, Kagan. That's right. That's my T-shirt. Joe says, break a window, fix it with Linux. That's what one of my T-shirts says. Windows broken, fix with Linux. What's up, Kagan? You did not even get a notification. Oh, yeah, this was a last-minute thing. We, I think Switch is going to be out of town tomorrow, and I had to go grocery shopping, and I got done sooner than I thought. I came home, I had my dinner, and I was watching Rick Steves Travel Europe, and anyway, I jumped on, so we're here. Okay, again, yeah, this was not really. Usually, if we're going to do these live for Linux, it's probably going to be on the weekend, if I had to guess, but who knows? But yeah, I just have the two future topics. If something else comes to mind, I'll write it down. But we'll probably end this soon. So, what's up, Kagan? I'm surprised Coding Commander isn't here. Yeah. Had fun with her, chatting with her last night.
Place of where I was. YouTube needs to fix this comments thing.
Well, they have live and top chat. I make sure it was on live so I get all the messages.
Yeah, I'm on top chat still, but I'm still trying to catch up with that.
Okay. So, let's see.
Do you want to do a Google search in that Windows privacy button, see what you can find on it while I catch up on these?
Yeah, let me do that real quick here. See what's up. Give me a second here.
All right, I'm going to switch to live chat now, see if there's more.
Okay. I guess I should put Windows 10, and that window tinting came up, but whatever. You know, privacy glass. This is in the spring update. Let me type in spring update.
I don't know why this computer is still set to Google on that one. Switch operating systems too much. Don't keep track of what I got where.
So it says Windows 10 privacy settings is getting a major update in Redstone 4.
The only thing I remember about that though was an application.
Privacy settings are getting more straightforward.
All that is just an application to say, oh, this is what we're saying. See, we're just sending a bunch of data stuff. It doesn't mean anything.
The new privacy,
it reminds me of Asia Pi the day after that stupid vote. You can still do all these things on the internet. Well, no kidding, you moron. This
all right, so
for another 60 days.
Their official statement, Tom, they are more committed to transparency and control. Users can now delete the Windows diagnostic data. Oh. That Microsoft has collected from you. Really? Windows
before or after they send it to you.
Hang on a second. Okay, I'll read it again. Users can now delete the Windows diagnostic data that Microsoft has collected from your device. Okay, that sounds reasonable. In settings, privacy, diagnostic feedback, you will find a delete button that deletes The Windows associated.
What is the main site you're on?
This is windowslatest.com. Try that. I just did a search, Windows 10 Spring Privacy Update, and it came up and I found that. But this is on windowslatest.com.
When's the article printed?
February 8th. I mean, that sounds pretty good, actually, if it's what I think it is.
Well, it doesn't sound like it to me. You know what it sounds like to me is on an Apple phone, there is a bunch of data that is constantly being collected.
Uh-huh.
You can opt to not send the data. Geez, how far do I have to go to find these things? Let me go to page 10, maybe. I can't find the exact article. I got to browse for it. I'm still on February 21.
Yeah, it's February 8th, yeah. But, well, I mean, I'm all for more transparency, even if it's not doing everything. I mean, that's what it comes down. Because if they look, with Windows 10, when it first came out, if they would have told you ahead completely how this works, I would have been cool with that. Just tell me ahead of time what's going on here. So.
Yeah. So on the iPhone and other iOS devices, for sure, inside the settings, you have the option.
Okay.
And where's it at? Of course, I never really update this thing, so I can't remember where it is. Things under About. Actually, I think it's under Privacy.
All right. Hi, Spin Viking. Hi, Colin. Welcome.
Can I find it? No. Is that under Privacy, I think? Okay, so under Privacy, Diagnostics, and Usage, we have the option to automatically send and don't send. Okay?
Okay, yeah.
There is no way to delete the data off the phone unless it is sent.
Yeah.
So what I've done to delete it off the phone in the past is I plug the thing into iTunes on a computer that is disconnected from the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Sync the phone to iTunes because that tells the phone that it's connected, and so it goes ahead and deletes the stuff. And then I uninstall iTunes, reboot the computer, and then connect it back to the internet.
Whew. Okay.
To not send all of this data.
Right.
And so that sounds to me the same way. And being as a Microsoft and Apple Play things, I don't care if I can delete this stuff from the system, unless it allows me to not collect it to begin with. Because my sneaky suspicion is you can't delete the stuff until the stuff has been sent.
I'm getting a headache just thinking about it, Tom.
That's my thought.
Yeah. For those of you who came in late, I don't have a kitty cam, but this is my raccoon cam. Hello. Fine, Tom's got to show off. Fine. Hi, kitty, kitty, kitty. Hi, kitty.
I'm still trying to find the article here. February 8th, right?
Yes, that's where it was at, yeah.
And what was the article called? Major update? Is it the major update?
Yes. In Redstone 4, yes. Mm-hmm. That's the one. Yep. I know technology has taken over, and I'm sitting here talking to you and watching bits and pieces of Jaws too. I'm like, why am I doing that? You know.
Previous reviews of the diagnostic data viewer. So that's just the thing that shows you the data that's being sent. Allows users to remove diagnostic data with just one tap, just in case you're wanting the data collected with user permissions, and it's supposed to be improving the overall experience on the platform.
Okay.
And that's kind of the challenge is that, it sounds to me like it's after Windows gets their hands on the data. So you still have to submit the data. It's just not being stored on their computer anymore, which that's probably a ploy, because how many older computers that aren't as good are getting bogged down by hundreds of megabytes or possibly gigabytes of log files. They're like, we got to get a way to get all this crap off the computer now. Hey, let's do this. Let's do this, and we'll call this a privacy-centric thing. Yeah, that's my guess. Where's my hat? Kitty, go get my hat.
So there should be a switch to prevent it from sending it in the first place. Right.
Prevent it from collecting anything at all.
In the
That's what we
first place.
do.
Okay.
Because how much data is actually being taken up by this? I mean,
You
that's
know, if
the it's huge.
I have a vision of a data collection New York City bus. The data's on the bus. It goes to the MS Collection Center to copy. You get the bus back, but then you can delete your data. But they already got it on the bus stop. You know what I
Yes.
mean? That's the
Yeah.
analogy that I'm using. So
Yeah. That's my
forget
take.
about it.
Yeah. And
Um,
so, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That's not a step towards privacy improvement.
No, it's
Unless
not.
for
No.
sure we know that there's a button in there, do not send any data, in which case, why bother collecting it to begin with?
Right.
Because
Right.
taking system process power.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
take a low end computer, like I think I put my mother on a Windows 10 computer like 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like her computer last year I stopped by there. It was so slow, it was unusable. It's like what did you do? I don't even know how she did that. Of course, it's
That's why I
because
use the built-in this cleanup features in Windows 10 seems to clean up a lot of that crap up. And you'd be surprised how many gigabytes it does that, like especially during the massive updates. There's gigabytes of that stuff.
yeah,
But that's one nice thing about Windows 10. I will say that you don't have to buy or add add-ons cleanup utilities. They're nice, but it isn't necessary. The Windows 10 built-in features to clean should suffice if you know what you're doing. Um, and they're kind of slow, but they work thoroughly. So, hi Tim. Tim F is in town. Hello.
hi Tim.
Hi Tim. This is my privacy raccoon. Yeah. I don't know where I got this from, to be quite honest. I don't know. Maybe I bought this from my boy years ago. I can't remember. Anyway. You guys discussing Windows 10 and privacy improvements. I would use the word improvements loosely, but sure, yes. How about transparency improvements, Tom? There we go. They're more transparency improvement, not so much privacy improvements, right?
No, if they were transparent about the data in this diagnostic tool, they would actually give us real
Okay.
ideas as to what
All
the
right.
data is.
Okay.
All they're doing is putting stuff up there so we can be
Okay.
like, see, we're showing you the data. See, it's just meaningless numbers and stuff. Well, if it's meaningless numbers, why collect it?
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit more to it than that.
Yeah, it's my Rackham, Colin. Yes,
The
raccoon
Racky,
cam. The Rackham. Yes,
the
my
coon cam. I
Rackham.
like the coon cam. It's the coon cam.
It's the coon cam, man.
The coon
Yeah,
cam.
cool. He's smiling because he just got his load street. You see what I'm saying, man? No, I'm just kidding. But
I think
what the heck is a privacy raccoon? You don't know what that is, Tim? Simple. It doesn't collect data. Ha ha.
that's right.
Because it ain't real. Duh. I gotta explain everything. I love you.
Need input.
Yeah. If animals could talk, like if your cat could talk, it'd probably say, well, you humans are dumb. All this privacy stuff, why do you put up with it, you know?
Yeah. That's what
So,
you're saying, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
really.
I'm actually this is funny. Like I said, a friend of mine's traveling overseas, and I'm one of the emergency contact points, and so I actually put WhatsApp on my phone. We're like, yeah, as soon as he's back, we're nuking those things. We're gonna have a nuke party for that app. So yeah, it's kind of creepy. Useful. I mean, useful because of course communicating, over Wi-Fi without having to have cellular over there. We're traveling on the other end of the world, so.
I wonder how many people know that using public Wi-Fi is the worst thing that you can do.
Not very many.
You know, now if you're just browsing the news and not logging into anything with passwords, you're probably okay. Probably.
Yeah, I mean, WhatsApp does end-to-end encryption on everything, so it's probably okay for that exclusive app. And that's one of the selling points of it. It is one of the better end-to-end encryption things. Of course, it is a Facebook product, so
isn't there something?
A little bit. Signal is very much like it.
Yeah.
And so what we said is because there's issues sometimes with sending texts and stuff every now and again. I said, if this works well, and it seems to be so far, I said, when you get back, maybe we'll put Signal on it because Signal is from a privacy-centric company.
Okay. Yeah, when I go to like McDonald's or Tim Hortons, Unless I'm checking, news, something random stuff. But if I usually just shut off the Wi-Fi, I just
Mhm.
don't use it, even though it's free. But I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Um,
Only way
by
you
the
do that. Is a legitimate use of a VPN. It's one of those
Yeah,
few legitimate uses of
yes,
a
yeah,
VPN is
yeah,
you have to connect to that,
yeah.
then use that. But I'm so sick of this VPN misinformation for the purpose of business and selling VPN services to everyone who doesn't need them.
Hmm.
Like, I see no reason of a VPN service at my house
Hmm.
unless I have some interesting use case where I need to, get into a specific server or look like I'm from a different company for, a legitimate reason.
Hmm.
That's fine. But so many people are pushing VPN for privacy that there's no extra laws a VPN has that an ISP doesn't. I
Mm.
mean, they might claim to collect less data, but how do you really know that
Yeah,
in
you're
reality?
right. I mean, how do you know? How do you truly know? So, public Wi-Fi to check your Equifax report. Is that what you do, Kagan? Okay. Well, that.
I mean, I think that's a legitimate use because I mean, hackers already have that.
Yeah,
There's
they're
nothing
right.
useful
It's
in
that
Equifax.
secure anyway. You might as well join the club. Yeah, right. Oh, geez, Equifax.
Yeah. With his Yahoo account on Windows 10 with Google Chrome through Cortana. Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is actually
Yeah.
the best use for McDonald's public Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Yeah, Tim F says never use public Wi-Fi. Yeah, that's the thing. I looked into like Cricket and a few of these other places, and the reason I'm not switching at all is because with Verizon, my phone, at least
Yeah.
until the net neutrality rules completely die and they go back and reverse it
Yeah.
again, because guess
Yeah.
what? The net neutrality rules is what made us use our
Yes.
phones as hotspots. People don't realize that was specifically a net neutrality thing. So as for now, my both of my phones can be hotspots, and that's what I use. And I could not get that functionality unless I was using their specific phones. I'm like, how did you guys get away with this when AT&T and Verizon tried this and got fined? Well, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So with net neutrality now, very distinctly possible that we're going to see a reversal where you might actually have to start paying money for that service again. Because, yay, Asia
Well,
finally
some states are gonna appeal, sue, whatever. Good for them.
Oh
They
yeah,
don't like it. So,
most I think almost all the states are suing.
almost all states.
If we get all 50 states suing, would that count as an automatic reversal? I mean, that'd be an interesting
I'm
question.
not sure if what the majority factor is. All I know, there's midterm elections coming up, and I think a lot of the Democrats support net neutrality, and the other side, I think I could be totally wrong. I have to look it up. But I'm a registered Democrat, but I'm going to vote for the guy who's for net neutrality, regardless of party. But
Yep.
I think it's the Dems who are right now. Of course, this can
Mm-hmm.
change, for what I understand. So
Yep. It
I have to
depends
look
on
it up.
who's up for election.
Well, the midterms are coming up, so there you go. You know, so we'll see. But yeah, I think a lot of the states, if not all of them, are looking into it, saying that's not cool. What
Yep.
we had before wasn't broken, so why fix it?
Mm-hmm. Oh well,
So,
it was very broken for the ISPs who want to control everything.
well, yeah,
I mean, these are some of
yeah.
the most powerful companies in the world.
Well, so here we go. Where does technology take over humanity? At one point, when you're on that road, you know, what lanes should you take and what lanes should you not take? What's fair? What's a fair? Well, I guess we'll talk about that next time. But yeah.
Not sure if net neutrality is a good thing or a bad thing. Well, net neutrality is a good thing because that's what prevents a company from saying, you can't use that app, you have to use our app instead. That's what net neutrality does, is it prevents the ISPs from favoring their digital products over someone else's,
Hmm.
and fast laning their products. Because the reason they wanted to fix it is it wasn't as big of a deal before because the ISPs didn't have all this stake in all these things. But with Comcast owning a large portion
Yeah.
of Hulu, of
Yeah.
course Netflix is going to suffer because
Yeah.
they want to see their. I don't think, or did Comcast? No, Fox is the one that sold off their portion. Now, yeah, it
XP,
was.
the PC Nerd says Representative responded to your message. Has said that he was for the repeal of net neutrality. You've definitely voted against him. Yeah, I don't vote political parties. I vote the person and the issues, regardless.
Yep.
I don't believe in parties. I believe in the humanity and in the common good of man, whoever that person is. So, but yeah, it's I don't know the Ohio reps what they believe. I'd have to look, but I think a lot of the Dems are for keeping it, as far as I know. But I'll have to verify that. Yeah.
Yeah, Metro PCS. I'll have to look into Metro. I don't think we have a Metro store in town here, but
We got one here last year, I think. I'll have to check it out. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, 110 is more than I'm paying, but the data is more
Okay.
as well. See, I'm not locked in a contract either. The only thing I have going is that I'm really not a huge fan of Verizon. That's really the only reason.
The service is good, especially around here with the hills and stuff. I will admit their service is pretty good.
Service is good. The thing that's actually irritating me the most is every month their website changes. And since I use a very security-centric system for doing banking,
well, that's odd.
It always throws my banking computer for a major loop, and it's actually annoying.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That is annoying. Oh, well. Let's see. Tom, it's after 9, so we should probably wrap this up. Let's make this the last call for comments or questions. How does that sound?
Sounds good. I haven't eaten yet. So
yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry I didn't know. But yeah,
no,
let's...
I don't usually eat until late. But
oh, really?
actually,
okay.
It's this weird thing because my schedule, I usually get up at like 10 and go to bed at like 2 or 3, but I got up at 7 today, and so I'm actually getting tired, and it's like...
Yeah, I got up.
That's weird.
Yeah, I slept in today. I set my my Alexa to wake me up, but then I said Alexa can't, so I went back to bed. But anyway, but awesome service with Metro PCS. Okay, Tim. Northern Minnesota for a couple of days. Reception was great. Good. Do they use AT&T towers or Verizon? I don't know who they use, who they subcontract with.
Metro, I want to say they're Sprint.
I don't know. Okay.
So 4 of us went on a road trip a couple summers ago, and we all had. I had Verizon. My friend has AT&T.
Yeah.
Another friend has T-Mobile. Another friend has Sprint. So it's one of those two. It's either T-Mobile or Sprint. I forget which friend had T-Mobile and which friend had Sprint.
Okay.
But the one guy has actually has Metro PCS.
Okay.
I want to say that's T-Mobile.
Okay. Yeah, they just opened up a T-Mobile store here in town.
Yeah, don't
Looks pretty nice.
T-Mobile's horrible.
I don't know. There's actually a store next to Kroger's. I like their shirts. They're kind of pinkish colored T-shirts are pretty cool.
Yeah, but I go in and talk to them about their plans. It's like, oh no, we only have one plan to simplify things. Oh. Yeah, it's like $100 for a single phone. Like what? Oh. What are you, smoking crack?
I haven't been in there yet. I have to take a look.
Maybe it was 2 phones. It ended up being like 30% more than I'm paying now for actually less service.
Okay. I don't know.
And I was like, what are you? They must be on crack or something.
I think they call it they're the uncarrier. What's that supposed to mean? That you don't carry phones?
I said, yeah, you uncarried my business, that's for sure.
That's what we don't want. Should we uncarry customers? I don't know.
They're probably still making it based on the Metro PCS.
Okay.
But I wanted to look at Cricket because they're supposed to be one of the best ones for.
There's a new Cricket store in town actually too. Yeah, their prices are kind of. I did check Cricket last summer. Their prices are actually fair.
Their prices are fair, but their quality is bad because if you look at their data transfer
I can't
rates,
win.
Here's their data transfer rates. Their data transfer rates were for the one plan only up to 8 MB or only up to 5 Mbps. Their next one's only up to 8 Mbps. I had 75 Mbps on this smart with Verizon. Yeah, I'm not going down.
So why would they throttle you? I know if you go over or not, but they give
unlimited plans is for a certain Mbps, and the other unlimited plan is for a certain Mbps. But it's also pay extra if you want to use hotspot, and you only can use hotspot on 3 of their specific phones.
Okay.
I mean, it was crazy stupid. It was definitely.
Well, I use a lot of Wi-Fi. I have Sprint service. I have a Sprint phone, but I got off the contract. I went to Straight Talk, still using Sprint towers. But because I use lots of Wi-Fi at home, I got 2 gigs a month for like $35 a month, and right now that's enough for me. That's kind of plenty, I don't need more.
I'm at two as well, and
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
even use I don't even use one. And now Verizon got this thing, we'll roll over your data. So I got like 10 gigabytes of
Well,
data.
that's cool. That's fair. Yeah.
It's nice because when I travel,
Hmm.
that's when I can use my internet without really worrying about it. So that's actually
Yes.
a good
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. If you travel, obviously you'll be more, using that. But yeah, 35 a month, and the phone still works after. Jesus, phone is now 5 years old. There's HSC One Max, but I love the speakers on it. I hate to give it up, but anyway.
Yeah, such it is.
Hi, DistroTube. Welcome to the ending of the stream. Sorry. Um, Rose, it was great having you on. Rick, Tim, and the rest of the gang. So, but I think we're done because we've been talking over an hour easy.
Yeah, about an
And
hour. Yeah.
yeah, Switch needs to eat. So, all right. So we would like to thank everyone for joining in. Don't forget to support our respective channels. I should have the links below in the show notes, guys. Check out Tom on Patreon, and then with me, it's PayPal if you would like to support the streams for future live events and the channels. I know some of you have been asking about joining me for future live hangouts. I think that would be great.
Yeah.
That can be like a reward or something, if you choose to contribute to my channel anyway. So, Tom,
Yeah,
what
something.
rewards do you have set up in Patreon, by the way?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm still looking at what and how, which I'm over 11 patrons now, so I really need to get serious about
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
into that.
yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
And some of them are starting to actually answer the questions that I might ask and things like that. So that's a good thing. We should definitely do that.
Yeah, when I had the Patreon, one of the questions I
Right.
would ask, or people would say, do the streams like at different times for people like at different time zones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know I have a new patron who asked a very specific video request, and I'm doing that. That's going to be my Monday's
Cool.
video. And so things like that. I had things like a private live streams, but it turned out that nobody could, no, everyone's like, we don't care,
Oh.
and so I ended up just kind of turning that into
Okay.
just like a weekly vlog, which ended up being more like a bi-weekly vlog. I don't remember doing one this week.
Okay.
It's been a crazy week.
Well, I haven't got
So,
any specific requests lately, but just
My
tell me or Tom what you guys want. But
my patrons specifically, they'll have access to my books on ebook format.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
download, and I have the weekly vlog, and that's about what I do. Of course, I don't really limit which patrons get which, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, I'm still trying to grow and build what I want to try and figure out.
Right. Okay.
And so that's that. So
Yeah,
patreon.com/Tom.
Yeah, just like I said, I think I have the links below in the show notes. But
Yeah.
if somebody makes a contribution to PayPal and has a request, just send me an email. Let me know, because a lot of you don't. You just donate, and then I'll send a reply. Thank you. So I'm assuming it's just for the channel. So.
Yeah. So I also you can buy this awesome shirt here at shop.switchtolinux.com, and I also have this awesome mouse pad as well. People like the mouse pad. So a bunch of other stuff on that as well, shopping bags, etc. Useful stuff.
I should buy one of my own shirts, but I got a collection of shirts from Compaq, IBM. I have a ton. I don't want another shirt, but I should buy my own shirt. But I'm like, I don't want another shirt.
Yeah. Well, the reason I bought mine is I wanted to see the print quality. I wanted to see, because I actually created the story a week before I pushed it live, because I wanted to make sure that the quality I was selling was good, and I think it is. The shirt, I don't know how durable the shirt's going to be, so I'm going to.
You really don't know until after you have it wash it. You really just don't know. Yeah.
I'll tell you that the coffee mug is amazing. The water bottle's amazing. The mouse pad is amazing. So I don't have any doubt. And the shirt is American Apparel, so it's very
okay.
high
I just have the shirts, and I believe they use Hanes.
Yeah.
And I bought Hanes before, and they're fine. So that's why I figured they're going to be okay. And one of my subscribers said, "Hey, Toss, I got the shirt." He sent me a picture, so I shared it. And he says they are true to size, at least on Teespring. I'm assuming they're true to size of what Spreadshirt you have.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And I went with Spreadshirt because of the variety of things they had.
Okay.
Because, of course, I'm eventually going to have 3 channels I'm feeding into this, and Spreadshirt also allows me to have a separate store for each one of the channels.
Okay.
All buried within the same account, which is excellent.
Okay.
And one of the things they have is aprons. Guess what? I have a cooking channel. I'm going to put my logo on aprons.
Switch to cooking.
That's right. That's right. So that's kind of why I went with them. Is the variety. Prices are a little higher than I would like, but not outrageously high, particularly since the quality is good.
Yeah, I think I priced most of my shirts around the $20 range. That's what they
Mhm.
recommend. I'm like, okay, it sounds good, you know. So that's what I left it there, you know. But like I said, I was more concerned about the quality, and they said they use Hanes for their
Mhm.
contracts for the shirts, and that's when I thought it was going to be fine, and it is. So
Yeah.
anyway, all right, guys, that's it. So we'll catch you hopefully next week, maybe, I don't know. We'll try to keep you posted, but we'd like to thank everybody for stopping by for Life in Linux number 3. If there are specific topics you want us to talk about, we wrote down erase. Is it possible to erase yourself?
Hmm.
And is technology taking over our humanity? I think good
Yeah.
topics. So we'll leave it at
Those are
that.
exciting. All
All
right.
right. All right, guys. Have a good one. Yes, Tony, you can catch us on a replay. All right, Tom. On behalf of myself and Switch to Linux, enjoy your Linux. We'll catch you later.
All right. Later.